Always tracking, always alerting. Here's your Storm Track 15 weather.
Satellite radar imagery. It looks fairly busy, but a lot of this isn't quite reaching the ground just yet. But keep in mind, area of low pressure just getting its act together will continue to deepen as it slides parallel to the Louisiana coastline and interacts with that cold air. That's the recipe for snow that we will see developing over the next several hours. And it's going to continue through the early morning hours with precipitation rates, snowfall rates ramping up. Now at the onset, we are looking at some mixing developing right along the coast, but eventually we will see a changeover to all snow, and that will continue through tomorrow morning. Look at 9:30 tomorrow morning. This would be shortly after the morning commute. This is why we're urging people to stay off the roads, because it's not only the snow that we have to contend with, but also the gusty winds. I'll talk more about that in a second. Eventually, this snow will push off out of the area by tomorrow afternoon into the early evening hours, and that's going to set the table for an extremely cold set of evenings that we have in store. But granted, we will see a good amount of sunshine. So, snowfall accumulations. We're looking at basically 6 to 10 inches of snow from Abbeville out to New Iberia and up to the north. This includes Lafayette and the I-10 corridor. Down to the south, about 4 to 8 inches, but keep in mind there is going to be some mixing with some rain, freezing rain, and sleet. That's going to help squash some of those accumulations to some extent. Well up to the north, Alexandria, I think about 2 to 6 inches of rain, or snow, excuse me, and you might see that up in Turkey Creek as well. But after that, extremely cold temperatures developing across the region. We have an extreme cold warning in effect from tomorrow at 6 o'clock until Wednesday at 9 o'clock in the morning. Take a look at the temperatures in the upper Midwest. Denver, Lincoln, Nebraska, Minneapolis, the Twin Cities, Fargo, North Dakota, all well below zero. This cold air continues to work its way down to the south. We're in the teens in Nashville right now. We're going to get colder than that here locally, thanks to these winds that continue to bring in that colder air. I talked about tomorrow morning's commute, how it's going to be rather snowy, to say the least. Well, at the same time, look at the winds. That's going to hinder visibilities that much more. And even after the snow tapers off, it's still going to be windy. That's going to create blowing snow. Conditions really won't begin to improve in terms of visibilities until Wednesday. But it's still going to be extremely cold. Take a look at the wind chills. Tomorrow morning, in the teens. All things considered, that's not bad. You know what is bad? Look at these wind chills. Below zero in some spots. So again, we will see improvement, but it's going to be very cold. So again, expect considerable disruptions to daily life. Dangerous driving conditions. All weather tires are not snow tires. That's why we say avoid travel. Anticipate widespread closures and infrastructure issues, including water, power, internet, and so forth. Let's go through those details right now. First, the one to the west. This severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Evangeline Parish, still expiring at 6:45, but it has been increased in intensity, at least a threat for considerable damage due to the fact that it could potentially create winds gusting upwards of 70 miles per hour. This is moving down to the south and southwest at about 35 miles per hour, really picking up momentum, and it's a little difficult to see, but there's a little bit of an outflow boundary from the initial batch of storms down in Vermilion Parish. This is going to interact with that storm and might create some small hail as well. Oberlin, you're going to be impacted by this particular storm at 6:17, Kinder at 6:37, China at 6:47, Fenton at 6:54, and Welsh down in Jeff Davis Parish at 7:12. The good news is we're currently not dealing with any severe weather impacting Acadiana at the moment. The bad news is, well, we're not quite out of the woods. In fact, we're still dealing with strong storms rolling through the heart of Acadiana and about to impact areas in the vicinity of the hub city here within the next 20 minutes to 45 minutes. So this line to the is moving to the east at about 45 miles per hour in some locations. Farther down to the south, moving a little bit more sluggishly, only at about 25 to 35 miles per hour. So it is creating plenty of lightning north of Crowley, up toward the Eunice area where conditions are improving there. We're also dealing with some lightning out by Jeff Davis Parish to the west of Jennings, and you can see how this line extends to the northeast through the heart of St. Landry Parish. So this line moving to the east, at least this section of the line moving at about 45 miles per hour. Opelousas, you're dealing with some downpours, a little bit of lightning as well, but this area is where we're concerned right now with the greatest possibility of some gusty winds.